Gold daily chart. After this vertical line, you saw sideways correction last week. After that sideways correction, it will retrace back to big static horizontal support level 2078, or it will break out to upside after the sideways correction. But this week is special for hedge fund. Either they buy more gold or take profit or maybe sell, which completely depends on Fed FOMC meeting this week. But this is not for beginner trader. If it retraces, then you can see correction will be almost $100. For upside breakout, we need clear confirmation from Fed. Technically, you have static support 2078 and your first resistance 2189 and next resistance 2223. So this entire area is your resistance zone. Since December FOMC meeting, if you see CPI, PPI and NAP, all of those numbers are saying one thing: US economy is accelerating once again. They ignore CPI all the time, their favorite always PCE, but before next FOMC meeting there is no US indicator, only BOJ monetary policy decision. That will affect JPY, that will affect USD, so that will influence gold price too this week. So during BOJ news, if gold goes up and down, don't be confused. Ultimately, Fed FOMC will decide what will be main trend. So CPI and PPI are giving clear warning. The biggest fear, second inflation wave. And this is not new thing. We were trading second inflation wave in August last year, and Fed also gave warning in their last FOMC meeting. But problem is China economy is bottoming. If China economy start growing, then according to Goldman Bank, 10% of CPI come from China. If their PPI start flying, then USA and China both PPI will start second inflation wave very ugly. Not just second inflation wave, but expectation in USA is very high. So they cannot do that 50-year-old author one mistake when China is ready to grow, because in 2023 China exporting deflation, now it is ready to export inflation.
Case of gold, I'd highlight two main things: China and China.
If Fed ignores second inflation wave clearly and blindly, then gold will explode and hedge fund will buy more, and 21 will be their major support level. Or if he gave warning, 3 cuts can be changed into 2 or 1. Kaskari already given warning. They can project rate hike in December 2025, or rate pause timing can increase from mid-year to end of the year first cut. Or like you saw last year 2023, they do no change in SEP since December but give a hawkish speech, because that time they said PPI was biggest reason for changing their SEP at last hour. But now PPI is saying clearly second inflation wave. A second inflation wave means one more wave of Fed rate hike in future. Many people are saying Fed pivot is biggest reason for second inflation wave, but PPI start rising before Fed pivot. And biggest fear is China economic growth. So condition is still same. They are not doing QE. They are not doing rate cut this week, and inflation does not give permission to do QE or rate cut at current price. And your US economy, they digested 5% interest rate, trillion dollar QT. Maybe that's why Goldman is bullish on VIX for April month. In this FOMC meeting, what will happen to QT will be most important. They will continue or stop. But instead of watching two different charts, QT, QE and their rate cut path, better you see final condition index chart. They are doing same like author 1, but they are hidden behind final condition index. Begin after November FOMC meeting and after November CPI report. FCI change direction this week, then all of those things, Bitcoin and gold and dollar, these three things can change their direction because they are hidden behind FCI. So like you saw in December SEP, market can give any meaning to their SEP or speech, down before SEP, up after SEP, then down again. So it completely depends how markets see their SEP. But I am expecting hawkish Fed FOMC. And this is your big size resistance zone and first support 2078. If you see H4 chart, then 2150 is your first static horizontal support level. Once this level break out, then everyone will target psychological level 2100. So after breakout, you have $50 range. And in FOMC week, you can expect minimum $50 price action. Intraday scalping H1 chart, you can expect starting this week, it start working again like normal days. But this one is your big support zone. You can see 4 retest. Maybe time has come to reveal their new 3% inflation target. BOJ will give you hint. Yellen already regretting on their transitory inflation. And this FOMC is most important. There are many ways to communicate with market. And again, Fed will say something and market will create a completely different meaning. This happens all the time. But I am expecting hawkish Fed. So static support level and a possible triangle chart pattern. For new entry, wait for breakout or retest. You can buy or sell. But for me, Fed will be hawkish. Weekly chart. Now people are saying same like that horizontal breakout. Same thing is happening again. But for this breakout to work, Fed has to blindly ignore second inflation wave. And if they saw second inflation wave, same like gold buyer, then this rising wave chart pattern, retest of lower trend line will be first target. And your wave counting, your first impulsive wave powered by President Trump, this was beginning of everything.
There's an entire checklist of reasons you could say you want to own gold, and they seem to almost be for whatever flavor you want.
All of those 100 bullish reasons started on this first impulsive wave. Now trade is happening. And if you see daily chart, their November FOMC meeting, 75 basis point hike. Then their December FOMC meeting, 2022, when everything began. When JP Morgan bullish entry began. And now at the top, buy the rumor, sell the news. This thing can happen, but clearly they are taking profit. And this week after FOMC meeting, you will have list of all hedge funds who are buying or selling. So they came after December FOMC meeting, that's mean 1800 price, and this is happening because of Fed monetary policy. Second inflation wave is happening. Your Ukraine war started here. Since this top, it came down, but we are still talking about Ukraine war. And if everyone remember that top before final lower low, there was Taiwan invasion. And since this bottom, we are still talking about Israel war. I said what Fed said in 60-minute interview. He does not care about war anymore. So listen carefully every single word which Fed say in FOMC speech. 2150 is most important support level this week. when gold was trading at 2195 and gold was a bubble. You can see first it was CNBC article, then Elon talking about it, then later Elon directly talking about gold. Not Bitcoin, not Dogecoin, but gold this time. And if any one of you remember, Elon Musk also did hyperinflation bubble that was started with Elon Musk tweet. So right now at current price, gold is bubble powered by USFCI.